channel near you.
Well, welcome, Sharon Parker, Leonard, Lulu. Hello, Barb. Make sure Barb drives safe. Both hands on the wheel. Make sure you're wearing your seatbelt. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition. Yeah, broadcasting live right outside Louisville, Kentucky. Catherine A. Henry, nice to see you guys. Yes, this edition is brought to you by, you name it, Texas Beard Company. You got to love them, ladies and gentlemen. If you got a man that's got a beard and you want him to smell good, make sure that you supply them with the product. It's actually in stock. Yes, we are shipping it. I wear it every day. I smell good. Too bad we don't have smell-o-vision. We've got the beard oil and, yes, the paste and balm. So make sure and check it out. Now, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Look who we got in the studio, everybody. Welcome. How are y'all doing today?
I'm doing great.
So go around, Josh, Bill, and Tim, introduce yourselves and tell everybody who you are and what you do. We'll start with Josh.
Hi, I'm Joshua Inslee. I am a Bigfoot researcher. I am the founder of Bucking Cryptid Society of Bigfoot Research, and I have been researching for 7 years now.
Awesome. Awesome. And Bill, I mean, everybody knows Bill, but go ahead, Bill.
I'm from over the hill.
Over the hill. And
Over
did
the
you
hill.
just now get a big green tractor? We can go fast. We can go slower. You know, when you first got that tractor, that's the song that came to mind. I put that on.
Me too. Me too.
I put that on your Facebook post. Did you see that?
Yes, I did, and I played it. Yeah, I'm the founder of the Agents of the Unexplained. We do paranormal cryptid research. My favorite cryptid, of course, is the Bigfoot. And I did have a sighting. Actually, Josh was at the same camp out I was at when I had the sighting. Excuse me. Allergies are kicking in too.
Yeah, it's bad this year.
Yeah. But I do my own podcast. I put on the Penn Ohio Paranormal Conference every March, which this year we got Grizzly coming this coming March.
Yes, I am going, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely.
Yes. And I'm all excited about having the Grizzly there. And I'm good friends with Tim also. You know, Tim's a great researcher on top of everyone, you know. And I do refer people to different ones.
Who let the dogs out? Anyways, I had to throw that in there. And by the way, he just froze when the dog barked. So yes, that was a good intro. Who let the dogs out? But anyways, Tim.
I'm Tim Gayhart of the Ohio Bigfoot Researchers, and I get thrown under the bus tonight. I guess I get to do the show.
Yeah. Don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Trina Myers. A round of applause for her. So Bigfoot Jiffy was named last week, or was it today? What is it? Tuesday, right? So Bigfoot was named. Wednesday. Yeah. So I've got a whole case of him that came in this week. He's 36 inches tall. I think 36 or 20. I don't know. He's big. But if you want him, I'm getting ready to put him in the store. He's $36 ship. So if you want him, let me know. I'll put him in the store probably the next day or so. $36 ship. And we got some T-shirts coming too. But yeah, welcome Tim, Josh. A round of applause, and Bill. I guess the dog got loose and got him. But yeah, there's Jiffy. So yeah. But I ordered Jiffy and I got him by the case. So, but he'll be in the show. Welcome, Trina. Nice to have you. So what are we going to do today? So Tim, ladies and gentlemen.
Actually, what happened to my voice? Really, Josh?
Tim put the show together. I don't know what happened. I didn't hit a button. Tim put the show together. So a round of applause for Tim put the show. So how are we going to start the show out, Tim?
Well, we're going to do we're going to do a round table. We're going to ask each guest a question, and you go around the table and get answers from everybody.
All right. Well, go ahead. I'm ready when you are. Absolutely.
Okay. What experience made you become a Bigfoot researcher?
Well, so I'll start with this one, right? So I always been fascinated with anything in the paranormal realm, right? And the reason why I say that is I never forget when all these shows start coming out, and I always been fascinated with old horror movies and action movies with anything cryptid, paranormal. You know, in some of the movies, they captivate you, right? And I always wondered what happened in the afterlife. And, you know, as growing up, I was an avid hunter. And now you look back and you're like, whoa, I had no idea that was going on in the woods, right? And thank you, Trina. And I had no idea now that that is what was that, what I know now, that was possibly it, right? And everybody's like, what? Right. because you didn't know that we were oblivious to what these figures, sticks, or whatever arrangements could be possibly what was putting them up. And I said this to the high schoolers just a few minutes ago when they were interviewing Mike and I in the high school class, is that I'll never forget when my dad and I were deer hunting. My dad said, "Son, stop." And I stopped, and he's like, "Take a deep breath." And I went, and he's like, "What do you smell?" I'm like, "Giant." And I'm like, "What is that?" And he's like, "That's deer. We just missed them." And I'm like, "BS, Dad. That's not deer now. I know it. That's right." And so now looking back, you're like, wow. And then on it, fast forward it into my mid 20s, turkey hunting, and that big jake. It was probably about a 27, 28-pound jake. I mean, that's a big bird, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And I was hunting, and I crawled on my belly, and it was three ravines, 3 hills come down this creek, and I was crawling. And he was probably a good 75 yards out, and I had a 3.5-inch mag, and I had an Undertaker choke. And if you don't know what an Undertaker choke is, that's a pretty good choke back in the day. And I crawled, and I was like, man, it keeps going back away from me. So I kept doing the call, and it would turn, and it would keep walking. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a shot, and it probably won't do anything. And I took a shot, and the only thing I hit was feathers, and feathers everywhere. And when I did that, right up on the hill going up top, just crashing, just like tree branches and everything. And it was a guy in a ghillie suit. And I'm like, what the hell? Where'd he come from, right? And when the guy in the ghillie suit was walking up the hill, it was strange because it wasn't a normal ghillie suit, right? And it was oversized, and it just didn't seem right. But however, he wasn't supposed to be back there. So I was upset because somebody else was back there, and it's like, man, you're not supposed to be on this guy's property. I was. So I went up to the guy's house. I'm like, dude, who's back here hunting? He's like, nobody's back there. He said, you're on. I was like, no, somebody's back there. And he's like, nobody's back there. I was like, nobody's back there. I just saw it. And I told him what happened. He's like, no, nobody's back there. I was like, dude, I saw him. And hey, Roger. And, and after I replayed that years later, I didn't think nothing about it. And then a guy in that area hit me up, and he was like, so you were turkey hunting, and you talk about that guy in a ghillie suit. And he was like, that's not a guy in a ghillie suit. And we went over that incident, and I was like, what? And it now I understand it wasn't, because it wasn't the right size, it wasn't the right shape. And then when I saw pictures of people's eyewitness testimony of this creature, whatever you want to call it, having long, strange, dangling hair with leaves attached to it and like mangled hair, you know what I'm talking about? That's dirty. It really made you stop and think. It's like, man, it looks like it's something that came out of a swamp, like the swamp monster, right? Like the thing. So, and that really changed my mind. And it's like, man, is that plausible that it happened? So, and then I took a turning point. Then I start really watching the other shows and meeting other people. And it just went from there. And then you get sucked in to the phenomenon. And you can't let go, right? It's just like anything else. Then
that darn rabbit hole.
Yeah, then you get sucked on all the TV shows and everything else. And then your wife, when you're at the time, you're like, is that the one thing you got to watch? And it's just like, yeah, I mean, you're addicted, right? So, yeah, that's how I got started. So, yeah.
How did you get started, Josh?
I was a little kid and was told my grandpa had, before he passed away, he owned a bunch of woods and stuff, and there was part of the property that my mom, her siblings, there was 9 of them, they were all told to stay out of that certain part of the area of the woods. They can hunt the rest of it, stay out of there. Well, us young kids, I grew up down by the property, and they told us to stay out of there. Well, both of them don't listen. I went up looking, and I'm like, you know what? I wonder what everybody's trying to keep me out of there for. So I went in, and as I'm going up, it goes up a hill. Stood watching this one, and kind of like what Grizzly said, thought it was a man in a suit in there. And ever since then, and ever since seeing that and then going back up to that spot, I've been able to see him for years. Um, I think it's been a passion of mine to figure out more about him, more into okay, why is it so taboo for other people to believe these things are real? Why is it such? Why do they call them liars or kick them out of school or all that? Because there is so much evidence that we do have supporting that they are real. That's what me into it.
Bill, what was your experience that got you started into the Bigfoot researching?
Well, of course, the Patterson Gimlin film, when I first saw it, I was a young kid. I wasn't even a teenager yet. And it's like, oh, wow. Yeah. Of course, I went in my backyard looking for him, didn't see him. So I kind of lost a little bit of interest. But growing up, I was out in the woods all the time, hunting, fishing, whatever. And Ella Blitz, yes, Bigfoot is. I saw that. Yes, very much so. Got enough witnesses on here today. But so life took over, got married, had it, support the family, whatever. But I'm still out in the woods all the time. Well, we were living down near the Chestnut Ridge area in Pennsylvania, the northern part of it. And I start noticing, I'm like, wow, I hunted in West Virginia, I hunted up in New York, hunted all over PA, over in Ohio. And I'm seeing these structures. So I said, wow. Now, granted, some could be from age and weather, but I start researching it, and it kept leading me back to possible Bigfoot. So I started watching some YouTube, the one YouTube channel, I can't remember the name of it, and the guy was just a BSer, straight out BSer. But then I got on some Facebook groups, and I ended up going out, learning how to research on. I said, man, that's just like hunting anyhow. So I knew a lot of the techniques, but there's a lot of stuff I didn't know. So I ended up going to the Sosby camp out there at Saltport Group Camp. It'll be 3 years this August. And that's where I first met Josh. And I actually met Tim there that year too. The very first night, I'm thinking everyone goes to Saltport. I'm not going to see a Bigfoot. That's just too many people. I just want to hear the Ohio howl. Well, I went out with Mike Bennett and Debbie Preggy. We went to a couple different areas. We get back to the group camp. So it's just starting to get dark. And Mike says, let's go down the Buckeye Trail there. Just go down, go in about 90 paces, stop and listen and look around, see what we see. We went in that way, did 3 stops like that. But on the left side of us, down toward the swamp area, something was throwing either little stones or little nuts up at us. And not a lot, just here or there. Well, Debbie was getting nervous. And after the 3rd stop, she said, I don't want to go any further. I'm getting too scared. And I went, whatever. She has that scope. And I said, give me the scope. And I said, I'll go up about 90 paces. You wait there with Mike. Mike's packing. You're safe. You don't have to worry about nothing. Well, turn around. I get up there about 90 paces. I knelt down. I start playing with the scope like this. And out of the corner of my right eye, I saw a little movement. So I'm still like this with the scope and turn my head 15 feet inside the trail. There it was, leaning in, looking at me. And no, I did not get a picture. And no, I did not fill my pants. Well, almost filled my pants. Josh, you remember that night, don't you? and Josh could tell you, I was scared and I was fired up. You know, it's like, yeah, I believed, I knew they were out there. I wanted to see one, not that close. Not that close.
Right.
So yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, that sent me so far down the rabbit hole after I got through the PTSD of it. And Tim knows, Josh knows me. I'm all about. I don't care about DNA so much. I do care about what they're doing, how they're doing. Hi, Jessica, and everything they do, how they're doing, why they do it. I'm all about that, and so, and that's why I do my podcast, to learn from others what they've learned, and to share the knowledge. And it's a very interesting field, and like I joked with Chris, down that rabbit hole, and it is a big rabbit hole, and it keeps throwing you farther and farther and farther down. But that's how I got started there.
I'm like the other three. I started out hunting. And the first picture or anything I ever seen of Bigfoot, I was probably in the 7th or 8th grade, and a friend brought a book in. It was Monsters, Legends, and something else. Had Dracula, all that. Well, it had a picture of Patty. Well, I didn't take it to heart. I didn't really believe it. I'm like, this is Hollywood. This is all fake. But after the years of hunting and stuff, I've heard things in the woods. I've heard whoops in the woods. I've seen shadows moving in the woods, and I've had them circle me and my brothers when I was 16 years old. 2 of my brothers was with me. One of them, he's passed. He just passed a couple months ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We were standing back to back, and it kept walking around us, and the dogs between our legs, coonhounds, they wouldn't hunt. But I've had several different episodes in the woods as I hunted. And I really kept it out of my mind because I knew if it was if I really thought it was true, I wouldn't even been in the woods at dark or anything. So yeah, it led up to my first full body sighting was down at Salt Fork, and we went down there for the Salisbury meeting. It was the first meeting we ever went to. It was in April of 2021. And I wanted to hunt at Salt Fork all the years I lived in Ohio, but never could get nobody to go. And I said, well, let's go. I want to see Salt Fork anyways. So we might see something, we might not. I heard that was Bigfoot Triangle, so we loaded up and went down there. First day, we didn't even go. We had to run around and see if we could even find where the camp was, because we didn't have no idea. It was just set at Salt Fork. Primitive camping, didn't give no road location, no nothing of the group camp. We ended up at Bigfoot Ridge. There was people there, and we asked them, we didn't hear nothing about it. Finally got a hold of one of the rangers, and he told us where the camp was. We went and found it, stayed for a few minutes, then we come back out and went driving around, ended up down at a cave area, parked in the parking area, and I was standing out behind the car smoking a cigarette, watching the hill, which goes up in front of the parking area. It's a ridge. It comes down to the lake. And my wife walked down there. There's like a little beach area. There's like a cove there. And she was down there looking for shells and rocks and see if she could see any tracks or anything. Then I was standing there watching the ridge, and there was a big beech tree there, and there's about between 8.5, maybe 9 foot black figure stepped off behind that beech tree. And this beech tree is probably a good 40 to 48 inches around. It ain't no little tree. It's an old growth tree. And then it walked like 15 to 18 foot over to a big white oak tree, which was about the same size, and I'm standing there looking at this thing as it walks across her, and I'm like, what is that? Is my eyes playing tricks on me? Well, that ain't no way that's a Bigfoot. First time ever here and see one on the first trip, and I'm like, standing there
Yeah,
arguing
right.
with myself, no, you seeing things, man. You better take another look. And I kept looking, I'm rubbing my eyes, and I'm arguing with myself. Now, you know what you just seen. And then I said, well, I'll go down, and I said, well, maybe I'll holler for her to come up here, maybe to come out on the other side of that tree. I said, no, I better not. I better walk down there and get her. So I walked down there and got her, come back up her shoulder where it was. I don't know where it went because I walked down to get her, so I didn't have no way to keep no eye on it. And then that was my first sighting, and been hooked since, and I've had them a lot closer than that. That was probably at least 90 to 120 feet, somewhere in that area. I didn't walk at all. I can't climb the hill, so I wasn't going to walk up there and see exactly. It was by my years of hunting, it was around 90 yards.
Wow. So Ella Blitz, she says, in your opinion, gentlemen, what are some of the most credible pieces of evidence supporting the existence of Bigfoot? We'll start with Josh. What do you think, Josh?
DNA samples we have. Not saying it's consistent. One of they can't say it's human and they can't say it's animal. They don't have the species of something known to man. I'm sorry, but hold on one second.
Okay. Bill?
I think a couple different things. Number one is Patty, the film. That has yet to be ever debunked by anybody. Then there's some DNA evidence that's been taken and got the footprints and people's sightings. You know, yeah, some people say, oh, yeah, we saw this one, that one, whatever. But credible people in their sightings. You know, I've taken a lot of reports on that. And Josh has got several reports that I know of for a fact that are very credible. So even though some sound kind of iffy, you still got to be interested. Then do your research on the area, from the library, newspaper reports of stuff, different, get the topographical map even to check the area because wooded waterways, what kind of food source, and then you can compare the stories with other ones in that area. But I've had several credible, and I mean very credible reports given just in my local area. And you got to take that on consideration.
Tim?
Well, the first thing would be the Patty film. It was filmed in 1967, and the technology back in 1967 was, I think it's 18 millimeter film. And there's no way to copy 18 millimeter film and get it back like it was taken from the camera. You can you try to cut or splice or do anything to it to change, alter it. It's not, you can tell right away. But over the years, there's been thousands and thousands of incredible researchers. There's been thousands on top of thousands of incredible witnesses. I have pictures of them. I know what they are. I've seen them. Ain't nobody going to tell me there ain't no such thing as that out there. The scientists and the government, if you think you're going to believe them and they're going to prove it, you're just fooling yourself. They're going to keep it hush hush to keep the water muddy. So the truth does not come out until they want the truth to come out, just like they did the UFOs.
Exactly.
When they see it's fit and time to bring out some truth, they'll bring a little bit out, and they'll say, "Well, this is this, or this is this," and and that's all we know, and they tell their lies again.
Well,
so first,
wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Time out. I got to throw something out there from exactly what Tim was saying. Locally, several years ago, I got it third hand twice that a Bigfoot was hit on 376 between Newcastle and Sharon. And it's like, okay. Well, I had a Bigfoot town hall type meeting locally. This lady shows up. She's talking, and I let people get up and talk about their sightings, their experiences. And she proceeds to say a couple little different experiences. And then she talked about the Bigfoot that got hit on 376. She saw it laying in the medium of the road and described every bit of it. And my heart just went, whoa, you know. And I stopped her and I said, I believe you, but you're saying you saw this firsthand. She went, yes. I went, thank you, Lord. You know, but yeah. In the paper the next day, it was a bear that got hit.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, I will be having shirts out that says it's just a bear.
Yeah.
You know, come on now.
All right. So I want to thank Ella Blitz for the question. So it's a very, very good question. So thank you for coming on the show. So to answer the question, let's go back thousands of years. We look at pictoglyphs, the cave paintings, and everything else that shows us that this creature has been around for a long time. We look at the indigenous people, the Native Americans, and their folklore. So now we have a timeline, right? So there has been something around. And we look at, like Bill and Tim and Josh says, all the independent people across the world, no matter if it's a Yeti, urine, whatever, they all have it in their different cultures as well. So there is a phenomenon that goes around. We have people that are judges, doctors, attorneys that have come forth that have seen these creatures, that have interactions with them, that are very credible people. So everybody cannot be, a liar or fake. Now, Ella Blitz, we do have people that are known hoaxers. We do have people that have misidentified Bigfoot that are possibly bears. Yes, misidentifications. That does happen. Ella Blitz comes back. Do you believe that a Bigfoot was simply a known animal species like a gorilla or another undiscovered primate would have been identified by now? That is a good question. And that is a question that is always asked. And I'm going to go ahead and let Bill start the answer on that one. Go ahead, Bill.
That gets me fired up every time. And Josh heard me go on a rampage on this one. The spotted owl. Look what they did with the spotted owl.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they shut down everything going on in the forest. Shut it down because protected species.
Right.
You're talking billions and billions of dollars. From the forestry to the drilling, the whole nine yards.
Gas lines.
National parks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
They just shut everything down. So follow the money with that one. That's why they're not saying it's a known species. I'll guarantee it. Guarantee it. Because there's too many people out there that have seen it. So, no.
Well, not only that. So one of the high school students asked the same question. And I didn't ask this, but I wanted to. And, high school students, they were juniors and seniors. So how old is a junior and senior roughly?
16, 17, 18.
Okay. Now, how old are kids in a park?
Probably acre. Always.
Okay. So we're talking young. Do you want to know if a 500-pound monster is running around in a park with your kids? Just saying.
The public can't.
I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen. But
Yeah.
anyways, I mean, these things are not supposed to be in our reality, but they are.
Mhm.
So go figure. Ella, you are very intelligent. I'm glad you came on the show. Hopefully,
Yeah,
stick
I'm
around.
telling you.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
And something to add to that is you came out and stated that it's a known species. I know Grizzly never said this on your show. College for cryptozoology. When we are talking about, you know, cryptid species or new species, animals that are extinct but may still be alive, we cannot say it's a known species because when they come back and do that, they have to reimburse the people that went out and did that investigation. They have to reimburse every single thing. Universities, you have to reimburse them people out there doing it if they were proven wrong. Reimbursed. There's so much certain things that have to be played off, which does have one thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lazarus animals are very, very interesting. I can say that much. And we actually did a show a couple of weeks ago on those animals, and science is a group of people that can dictate what they want and how they want. So it's very interesting. So, Tim, what's our next question? Since Ella is not firing across her bows yet with another one, Ella, keep asking. They're great questions.
What kind of areas would you go and want to go and find a Bigfoot?
Oh, that's actually a good question. So, to be honest with you, that's actually a tough question because a lot of people think that you have to go to the deepest, darkest places in the woods. And that is not the case. I have people outside Atlanta that just goes right outside the city limits or inside the city limits, and they got Bigfoot. It's like, what the hell? And I mean, I had a guy take out the dumpster, take out the trash to the dumpster, and there's a Bigfoot going through the dumpster. And yes, and he's like, what the hell's Bigfoot doing in the city? Hell, I don't know. Why don't you ask them? So we get reports like that, right? So, I mean, but really, it happens. So I don't know. I mean, how do you answer that? What's your all's answers? Val, I'll get to that question in a minute. That's a good question, Val.
Yes, it is. Who you want to go next?
Josh, go with the question, Josh.
Okay.
Honestly, you can say this. I can go where I live. I still live with my grandfather who passed. I can go right up there. Or I can just travel maybe every 5 minutes where I just had a sighting last night. It was on the road. It was literally standing in the middle of the road. And I mean, you could be driving down the road and see one run across. So a lot of the reports we get is them crossing the road. It's one of the most sighting spots, is them running across the road. So honestly, you don't even have to get into the woods at the time. Oh, that's my answer on that.
Bill, what would you think the answer to that question would be?
Oh, I go everywhere. There's no one specific type place, you know. Heck, us guys have sat at the group camp area at Salt Fork and had them come out at us.
I know, right?
Yeah. So you go just about anywhere. We were up northern Pennsylvania near Erie, it's called Cambridge Springs. It was seen right in town by several people. So, there's no specific area. As long as there's water source, food source, like berries, nuts, deer. And I think they used skunk as deodorant. I don't know for sure, though. But, it's, I traveled in a swamp. Sunday, I was just up at Sunday morning. I got a phone call to go check out a print, and we there's a muddy area and there's a print in there. So it's, you know, it's anywhere. You know. So I suggest just go sit in the woods.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll come watch you. I'll guarantee it. Tim will guarantee it. Josh will guarantee it. Grizzly will even guarantee
Yeah,
it.
they will. Absolutely. Tim, what do you think?
Well, the environment that they live in, they adapt to the environment. But if they have a clean water source, they have food, they have a place that they can shelter in, you're going to usually find a Bigfoot. Yeah, I have them comes right here to my back door, and I live in the edge. Well, you must say I live in town. City limits is probably 500 yards from my house where it ends at. But about 1,500 yards away from there is the Huron River. It runs from Lake Erie to Plymouth, Ohio, just south of Plymouth, Ohio. It runs for about 30 some miles. So that is a travel corridor for them. So yeah, and then it's freshwater source. They have fish, shells. They have crayfish. They have deer. They have small animals, rodents. They have corn, soybeans, and all kinds of food source. And plus, there's timber, a lot of timber, and the ridge line that runs along the side of the river and stuff, so they could find falling over trees and stuff for shelter, or they can make their own shelter out of trees.
Well, before I read the next question for the audio listeners, Henry says, if you guys keep using pole dancing chickens with glow sticks, they'll keep coming from the food. I love you to death, Henry.
That one was awesome. I read that. I'm sorry.
So Val says, what's your opinion of the woo connected with Bigfoot? So I'll start with that one. So the woo, a lot of people get flabbergasted about it. The woo part, I say, is just something that people just don't understand at the moment of what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. So that's why they don't connect with it. However, you know, when I talk to Ron Moorhead on a regular basis, he came out of the box about 5 or 6 years ago and he said, Grizzly, you know, if you'd have talked to me about this 20 years ago, he said, I would disown you. He said, I would make fun of you and think you were crazy because, you know, that stuff just don't happen. He's like, but now, you know, we'd look at quantum mechanics, quantum physics. He's like, there's something going on that we humans just don't understand. And he says, but science is catching up and it's quantum mechanics. He says, once you understand about vibrations and quantum entanglement, he says, that is a possibility. He says, everything is connected. Everything vibrates on a different plane. We talk about different dimensions, up to 12 different dimensions, 13. We're in 3 dimensions. Now, I'm not trying to get too scientific, but that's how it works. And what's your all's take? Starting with Josh. What's your take on it, kind sir? Hey, Debbie.
I believe in some of it. Heard some of the woo stuff that I'm a very scientific person, but I also have been there with the woo stuff. There's some of it, some people hear it and it runs and it becomes so elaborated where
Bluetooth connected.
it would never be explained. For example, one that they store air bubble under their hair and hold hands in a circle and float across the lake. But we're talking about vibrations. We are seeing they're making visibility close now. There's so many different things. It's possible you think about them clicking and everything. Like echolocation. You know, we have so many animals that can use echolocation, which is a vibration, and pop up, turn in their brain when it comes back. So that's how they see. There could be so many different things that we did yet as scientists or humans. It's like we don't have enough answers yet or enough to prove. So I can't say too much on it.
Okay, next.
Okay,
Go ahead, Bill.
I really can't say one way or the other because, like Grizzly says, science has not caught up. So if it's not scientific proven, it's woo. Well, I'm sorry. I won't get in an argument with anyone that says it's not woo, it is woo. I won't get in that because I got to keep an open mind. Um, from the one I saw, I presume it was flesh and blood. You know, and Debbie's out there right now. She's the one, my squatchy ex-wife, Debbie Preggy. She, me and her was out all the time, but now she works at those long hours, so we don't get out like we used to. But, you know, I presume it was flesh and blood. Did it go down over that hill through the woods and jump through a portal? I don't know. I didn't see it. Did it get beamed up? Did it say, hey, Scotty, beam me up? I don't know. I didn't see that happen either. So I can't say. And I won't say either way. But, oh, no, Deb, call off. Stay home. We'll go out in the woods tonight. But, no, seriously, if someone just closes their mind to that, they're wrong. Because you know, it's still got to be scientifically proven, but keep your mind open to it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I totally agree. Do you want to add anything to that, Tim? Or
Yeah, what they call the woo is they say that there's orbs and Bigfoot has the ability to walk through portals and disappear without leaving tracks. And well, some of it can be very true. I ain't gonna say nobody that's seen it or experienced it is telling the story, but because I've had some weird things happen. I mean, I've seen some people's weird pictures too. That
Yep.
seeing things coming out of stuff, and I kind of believe, like everybody else, you got to keep an open mind and see where it leads and take it for what it is, and you don't have to argue about everything.
No.
and Roger Blair says, does any of the guests that think that maybe Bigfoot could be related to the Yeti and possibly the Yeti's coming across the land bridge? So that's always been a good question. And yes, I do think that it is related. It's another subspecies of Bigfoot. And just like the Yern in Afghanistan and Iraq, I did not know that that was another classification of Bigfoot. And there's another name for that also over there. But yeah, I think they're all related. What's your all's thoughts?
Yep.
Yes,
It's just there's subspecies. There's different types. Yeah, there's all kinds of different kinds. It's not just one.
Some are larger built than others. You know, they're related. One, they might not be from the same clan, but they're all related somehow.
Right.
Just like human beings. We all have different skin colors, different looks, but we're all still human beings.
That's right.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we got time for another question, Tim. What do you have?
Okay, let's see here. What would be the do's and don'ts on an investigation or researching a Bigfoot in the field?
Ooh. Bill, we'll let you start with that one.
The do's, get out there. The don't keep your eyes to the ground. Look up, look around. Pay attention to your surroundings. If you're the first timer, go out with someone that's experienced in the woods. Don't just go out and say, I'm going Bigfoot hunting. Wear the proper clothing. Tick spray, especially this year. Last year they were bad. They're worse this year. That's a definitely do. Take plenty of Dr. Pepper with you.
Dr. Pepper. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. Anyways.
I had to throw that one in there.
Yeah,
but,
I knew Trina was going to say that. Don't let old bear cough. That wasn't a cough. A cough is. Anyways, yeah.
Yes.
That's funny. Josh, what about you?
Definitely get out there. Don't act like you're the toughest thing in the woods because they will you firsthand. You are not. And when people warn you, they can get aggressive. You can get aggressive. You can get bluff charged. My main thing is to get safe. You go out with someone that is a little more experienced and go out with an mind and a calm heart. Don't go out angry. Please go out with a calm mind.
You know what I thought he was going to say? Do not hang chickens behind my tent with the glow stick. Do I have a Discord? I'm always disconnected. I don't know, Ella, what you mean by that, but I like to have fun. Tim, what about you, kind sir?
Well, the dues is to know your surroundings at all the times that you're out looking for Bigfoot, because they're very sneaky and quiet, so they can slip up on you. And the don't go by yourself. If you get the gut feeling that you're not supposed to be in that area, back out the same way you went in. If you come face to face with one, don't scream, don't act scared, just back away slowly until you get out of the way and keep your eye on it. Don't turn your back to it, because that may cause a predator action. Try to be safe. Don't leave nobody in the woods by themselves when you're doing investigations. You go in as a group, you come out as a group.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah. Ella Blitz, my email's at the bottom, and you can get a hold of me at Grizzly Chris on Facebook. So I always tell people, number one, go out. Don't expect to see something. All right. So that way you don't get your hopes up and get disappointed. So go out and have fun. Sit around the fire if you're going to spend the night, and let them come to you, like Bill said earlier. If you got a speaker, play some native music, Indian music. For some reason, I hear they really like that, right? If you do come across one for whatever reason, do not shoot at it. Whatever you do not fire at it, okay? Please do not do that.
Don't be stupid.
Right. If you have a crystal bow or a ring bow, they like that, I hear. If you have a little drum, they like drumming. A lot of people will do that. But go out and have fun. If they growl at you or make tree knocks, you can do that as well. But just have fun, right? And just like Tim said, if you don't feel comfortable in that area, that's probably a human instinct. That's your body alarm telling you it's not a safe place, so back out. But exactly. Other than that, find somebody in your area. You'll be surprised how many people in your area that likes Bigfoot that you probably don't know, and probably would take you out in the woods and with you and teach you some of the right things to do and how to Bigfoot investigate. Go on Facebook, find some people in your local area. You'll be surprised how many people does this that you don't know of. It's very fascinating. And like I said, once you get in, you will get hooked, and you'll be surprised. I know a lot of people say they're into it. Then once they go out in the woods and they get an experience like, the hell with that? This stuff's real? I'm out. And they're like, deuces. And it's like, well, you come out for this.
I know hunters that actually saw one and quit hunting.
Yeah.
But Josh and Tim, I think you both was at the one camp out a year ago last spring when that young man came and he casted the handprint. He was not a believer. He just came camping with his in-laws. He just wanted to camp. He is a total believer, and he's totally into Bigfoot researcher. But I did send him down with an experienced researcher from Central PD. Went down with them.
Well,
And-
Shannon Parker, look at Les Stroud. He was
Yeah.
not a believer.
Yep.
And there's always campouts. We're having at Salt Fork, or there's different campouts all around in different states. That
Yeah.
if you get on Facebook, you can get a hold of us. We'll have you come out, and we will take you out. We will tell you what to do, keep you safe, we'll show you the do's and the don'ts. Everybody has a different style of research. Keep an open mind to that, and we're willing to help you no matter what.
Yeah, that's the thing. And like Chris said, don't expect to see something your first night out.
Right.
You can, but don't expect to. Just enjoy being out there. Enjoy the scenery. You know, when I get out in the woods, man, it just calms me down. Except for the one time I went on an investigation, and no one could go with me. I took my shepherd with me. We had to walk over 300 yards down a cornfield to get into the woods, and she was fine. Till we got inside the woods, she went on full alert, and my body told me, get out. My gut says, no, this ain't cool here. Something's bad here. And we got right back out. Once we got away from the wood line, my dog calmed down. I started feeling better at ease. Always listen to your guts when you're in the woods or just out anywhere. Listen to your gut. You know, that's the thing. You got to get out there.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely. Absolutely. Tim, you did a wonderful job putting this together. So,
Thank you, buddy.
Tim, how does everybody find you and follow you?
Be on Tim Gayhart on Facebook, and it'll be Ohio Bigfoot Researchers on Facebook. It's a group.
And Josh, how does everybody find you and follow you?
You can follow me on Facebook under Josh Hensley, and you can find a Facebook group by Cryptid Society of Bigfoot Research.
And Bill.
Well, you can find me also on Facebook and my Agents of the Unexplained group page. I got the Agents of the Unexplained podcast page. You can find me on YouTube, and you can also get a hold of me on my Agents of the Unexplained.net. I got that. We do researches, we do campouts, and all kind of investigations. And I'm willing to take people out with me.
There you go.
All of us guys are really.
Yes, absolutely.
We can feel a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. And from coast to coast, everybody, don't forget the show tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll see you then. Godspeed. Thanks, everybody. Good night. We'll see you shortly.
Good night, all.